At the end of the day, if we can lean into the idea and lean into those decisions, lean into those calls, when you open up the cabinet and there's the cookies or there's the thing you know you shouldn't eat in that moment, if you could just say, stop yourself, catch yourself before you're ready doing it. Catch yourself before you're on that easier road. Catch yourself before you're making that decision that you ultimately know is not towards the truest, most altruistic, authentic version of yourself. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Vinny Brusco Show podcast. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're enjoying the show. If you are, do me a favor, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you get it. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and even right here on YouTube. Just click down below, leave a couple comments. Helps with the algorithm, helps with the awareness of the show, helps me get more guests, and all that good stuff. So do me a favor, subscribe, rate, and review to wherever you are getting this podcast. Thank you very much.
And here we go.
A little while back, I started doing trail running. I got into trail running early last summer. I started trail running. I found this very euphoric meditation while running. And if you would have rewound time and asked me if I'd ever be a runner, I would have laughed in your face and told you there's no way on God's good green earth I would ever run. Not my thing, not my wheelhouse, not a big fan of running. And 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago now, it was about 20 degrees. It was Wednesday morning, and it was like 3 o'clock. And I just had this overwhelming sense that I needed to run. I just needed to go for a run. Now, I wasn't going to do it at 2 a.m. Calm down, David Goggins. All right. But I knew that day I was going to go run. No matter how cold it was, I was determined to go out and run. It was 22 degrees. I dropped off the kids to school. I got home, and I said to myself, all right. I told myself I'm going to run, and I'm going to go run. So I went out for the run. And as I was running, snot's dripping from my nose, my fingertips are freezing. I have the idea that I'm going to take the longer way home. There's two ways. There's like a fork in the road, and I can go left, which would allow me to get home quicker. And I can go right, which would definitely take me not much more, but enough where it was tangible. The difference is tangible. So I go on my run. I'm heading back. I'm like, oh, it's freezing. I'm tired. I'm like, all right, it's nothing. It's like maybe 3 miles. This is nothing in the world of running. This is nothing. This is laughable to runners. But to me, who does not run, 3 miles is decent, right? I'm moving. I'm huffing. I'm tired. So I get to the point where there's the fork in the road, the split. The proverbial fork in the road, if you will. And in that moment, or as I was getting ready to go to the turn where the fork is, I played it out in my head. I was like, oh, you can just go home. You ran 3 miles. It's cold out. You got a lot of snot dripping from your face right now. Just go home. And I thought to myself, when else have I come across this type of internal dialogue? When else have I had that voice in my head tell me that I could just take this easier way out? No one has to know. No one even knows I'm running right now. Nonetheless, no one needs to know that I'm negotiating with myself to take a shorter ride home. It's 22 degrees out. I'm going to Instagram this. Yeah, I got it. And in that moment, as I was making the turn, I saw the easy way home and I saw the longer way home. And I decided to take the longer way home. Now, this isn't some type of like, oh, heroic big to do. This is nothing of that nature. But it was the idea that I put something in my head and now had to play it out. I had to, didn't have to, but I was given the choice to make a decision. I was given the opportunity to choose the easier way home or commit to the idea. There's this great book called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. And it talks about how our instantaneous decisions are usually the right one. The thought that we have, the instinct that we have is usually the right one. And if we were to go with that instinct, we might live a happier, more congruent life. Now, I could have easily taken the short route home, but I had the thought earlier in the run, and now I needed to see that play out. I needed to take the longer ride home, the longer route home. I needed to go a little bit further, dig a little bit deeper. Now, this is not like every day. This is not like every moment, every decision I make, I'm making the decision that no, this is very rare, especially these days. It's very rare. But the moments where I can be put in a position where I can make a conscientious decision to lean into a thought that I had, lean into a feeling that I had, lean into that just that little bit and take the harder route and move past the negotiation stage of my mind. Because the mind, like it's the alarm clock in the morning. Just stay in bed 5 more minutes, which I am adhering to the call of the bed these days. But 2 weeks ago, given this opportunity, I showed up for myself. I showed up on this run. And it may not be all the time, and it may not be every time. But if you are able to channel that feeling and look at the circumstance and say, well, I said I was going to take the longer way home. Here it is. What am I going to do? Am I going to take that longer route home, or am I just going to shortcut the system? But I committed to the idea as I made that turn, and I went the longer route home, and I felt substantially better, not because of the run, because I made the decision in my mind and I stuck to it, seeing something through, no matter how small it may be. And we get all caught up. I know I get caught up in this idea that, there has to be these big strides and these big improvements, right? It needs to be this instant gratification and these results that are instantaneous. When in reality, the realistic aspect of things, that's not how it works. It is about making those small micro decisions, those decisions that on the spur of the moment you're making despite what you actually want to be doing. I wanted to go home. I wanted to take the shorter route. I wanted to get back in the warm house. But I already had planted the seed and put the notion in my mind that I was taking the longer route. At the end of the day, if we can lean into the idea and lean into those decisions, lean into those calls, when you open up the cabinet and there's the cookies or there's the thing you shouldn't eat in that moment, if you could just say, and stop yourself, catch yourself before you're ready doing it. Catch yourself before you're on that easier road. Catch yourself before you're making that decision that you ultimately know is not towards the truest, most altruistic, authentic version of yourself. So that is it. Take the longer run home. That's it. It's that simple, people. All right, on that note, I will check you guys out next time. Until then, much love. Peace.